Sony has found themselves in the middle of multiple firestorms of their own creation. Obviously, one of them is Stellar Blade. Most recently, we've been talking about what they have done with Helldivers 2, requiring a PlayStation Network account in order to play the game beginning on June 4th. If you're a Steam player, it does look like there might be some backtracking, at least on Stellar Blade. Obviously, we know there is a campaign to uncensor Stellar Blade being led by Mark Kern. And the official Stellar Blade account had retweeted a Kotaku article. And after being called out by Kern, that retweet has been removed. So let's take a look at this here. Before we do, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com this afternoon. And Mark Kern shared this on X a couple of hours ago, just before 1 o'clock Eastern time. We're looking at it's almost 4 o'clock now, so about 3 hours ago. And he said he shared a screenshot that the official Stellar Blade account had indeed retweeted this post from Kotaku that's titled "Stellar Blade's Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything." And Grums asked this: "What does this mean? Stellar Blade retweeting Kotaku's post about outfits is not a win." He a little bit later on in the afternoon, he further called out Stellar Blade as well as the Sony published Helldivers 2 community manager, who is basically like kind of deriding gamers for being outraged that the game is now requiring people to have a PlayStation Network account, or they won't be allowed to play the game. But this is what Grums posted. Community manager for Stellar Blade retweets Kotaku on outfits censorship justification. Helldivers 2 community manager, hold my beer. Really, these community managers are both terrible at their jobs. They are competing for worst crisis management in gaming. Hard to argue with that. And like I said, it's firestorms of their own creation. These are all unforced errors. This is all Sony doing this to themselves, ruining their own reputation and brand. And they probably did it. This was all done, obviously, before the censorship of Stellar Blade, before announcing this policy that requires PlayStation Network accounts. It was done when they hired a lot of these activists to run their company. And a lot of that comes from their DEI policies that all of these corporations have. But we did have this. This was just about an hour ago. Grums posted this. Something is happening. Stellar Blade has removed their retweet of Kotaku's outfit article. Progress. Keep those petition signatures coming. We are moments away from 75,000. He then shared a screenshot. Looks like it is at 74,328. When I looked at it, it was at 74,437 signatures, and over 4,400 people had signed the petition just today. And that petition is part of his 8-step plan to uncensor Stellar Blade. So it's unclear exactly kind of what's going on. I think both of these things are connected. I think the reason why we're seeing the Helldivers 2 stuff with the PlayStation Network account access, I know that we've seen community managers say that that's always been a requirement. It was on there. They had it at release or when it was initially listed, but they clearly turned it off after about 36 hours. Because there were some kind of bugs or something. That's the narrative that they're running with. But now they're putting it back in, which I guess also lines up with the refund window. And it also kind of lines up with what's going on with Stellar Blade and people canceling their PlayStation Network subscriptions as part of Kern's 8-step plan. And now all of a sudden, they're requiring people to have a PlayStation Network account in order to play Helldivers 2. So it's a lot of coincidences, and I don't think that they're just coincidences. And so I do think there is some movement here, whether that is because of the Stellar Blade campaign. I think it's probably a little bit of all of this stuff. Obviously, I think you're seeing movement because of this Stellar Blade campaign that continues to grow. Again, it's probably over 75,000 signatures now, or really close to it. Based on just when I published this, when Grums put his stuff up, how quickly it was getting signed. People probably finding out about it because of the Helldivers stuff. We're seeing Helldivers players probably find out about this. And then obviously now, I think a lot of people are not going to be playing Helldivers 2 anymore. They are huge amounts of downvotes. Let's look at this here. So you have one of their community managers here, Spitz, basically telling Helldivers 2 players in the game's official Discord to change their Steam reviews. And that's exactly what people are doing on Steam, the Steam page. It says that the game has received over 20,000 negative reviews just today, May 3rd. In the same time frame, it only received 1,045 positive reviews. This is a stark contrast to the game's mostly positive score, with 78% of reviews being positive. That percentage was probably a lot higher before today. And if you go over to SteamDB, it actually shows there have been nearly 37,000 negative reviews made for the game just today. So it actually has almost double what the official Steam store is showing. Not only that, it looks like we are seeing a decline in the game's player base. Now, I think it's a little bit too early to tell whether or not we're seeing a decline because of this policy that kind of just rolled out last night, today. But you can see here, according to SteamDB, the game kind of peaked in the end of February. Obviously, you did see a little bit of a peak here at the beginning of April, and a little bit here in the middle of March. But you can see it has this kind of trend where it is kind of slowly going downhill now and sloping off. And it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward as we get closer to June, and then obviously into June, if this PlayStation Network linking does indeed go into effect, because we've seen a lot of people say that they are not going to be playing the games. A lot of people have already said that they have uninstalled the game. People are asking for refunds. They are not happy about this. And people are just like, hey, I paid for a product. This is what you delivered. Now you're trying to change the product. I don't want that anymore. This is not something I am satisfied with. And they're not compromising with these video game companies anymore. Compromise culture is going away. People are tired of these nickel and diming you, take an inch, give an inch, take a mile type things. People are done with it. They're over it. And gamers are fed up. And we'll see. Like I said, we'll see if we see more significant drop off here, but the game has already kind of seen a downward trend just in the first couple of months since its release. Obviously, still really good numbers. 24-hour peak, 119,571, had 113,776 people playing when I took the screenshot. So still really good numbers, but we'll see what happens moving forward. So these are some of the things that I do think might be moving the needle here. We're seeing lots of people ask for refunds. We're seeing people say they're uninstalling the game. We're seeing people say that they will quit the game. We're seeing massive amount of petitions here for Stellar Blade. Lots of pressure being enacted on multiple fronts here. And we're seeing that they are looks like there might be some kind of movement, given the fact that they did undo that retweet from Kotaku, which is an outlet that promotes woke ideology and is honestly, that is an evil ideology and it must be opposed. So when you're seeing when they're actually rejecting that stuff or undoing that, I think that is a good sign. Now we have to wait to see if there's more good signs, and hopefully we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys make of this. What do you make of Stellar Blade kind of undoing that retweet from Kotaku after they got called out by Mark Kern, got called out by Grums? Do you think all this stuff is connected? Do you think it's all just a bunch of coincidences? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable to each other, but to always speak the truth.